Palestine. And it's not just Sam Harris. It's like across the board. I don't understand why atheists seem to not have a problem with this, or secular Jews. Dave Rubin's another one. They don't claim to be religious in any way, but they don't have any kind of problem with Netanyahu pointing to scripture to justify collective punishment at the same time as focusing all their effort on...
Is he supposed to believe, or is he supposed to believe in God? Or
it's just a hodgepodge anyway, isn't it? It's just a mongrel of... I'm pretty convinced that the heavily religious Orthodox Jews that don't fight and just pray all the time. Well, it's not just that. I think they think that the IOF are goy. Yeah. I don't think that they think...
Who the IOF?
The IDF, the ones...
IDF.
I think that they think that the kids doing the killing are goy that are protecting their inner circle, and they've been deceived into thinking that they're Jewish. But really, they're just stupid goy that's still in Israel. Because, it's sad, but if you look into the religious beliefs of this group, it's what it is. If you watch the footage from inside Israel, it's terrifying. Yeah. It's really scary stuff. And so that's what we have to contend with. I'm glad we've managed to sort of diffuse this situation. Thank you very much for doing that, Sean, and everybody else, because, it's surprisingly hard to police this. Especially, I don't know why this week. That was nasty. That was a real nasty sort of barrage.
Isn't it? He's just trying to stop you talking.
Yeah, and I don't know for what benefit, because I literally am just here on a Sunday, just doing this and our goal is to film these reactions. But that got me angry. That did. Steve got me angry there, because his goal is just to wind me up. Yeah, and I don't think he would have considered me an enemy in any way politically before Zionism or before all of this in October 7th. And that's why I say it's like a mind virus, because he's so desperate to win the debate. It's a compulsion. Every time he sees me, he's got to come here and attack this scarf, and I'm like, but the death toll goes up by another couple hundred every day. Like, you have no argument. It's just getting worse.
I mean, I don't think there's a moral argument that they can defend themselves, so they have to just shut down anyone who's thinking against what they're doing. It's just an extension of Hezbollah.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, we're at Free Speech Corner, and this guy has the nickname like Speaker's Corner Steve. He comes here all the time, so he's supposed to understand the etiquette. And I just think it's a great exercise doing this, because the etiquette and the manners of Speaker's Corner, this great English tradition that we've had forever, reliably break down when I say the and Jews. Right? It's like a trigger word that just breaks the chorus. Well, I'm saying I can't be bothered, because they're the ones killing in record numbers, and all I'm doing is offending you by putting two words together that apparently are not supposed to go together, because the Holocaust, I think. Well, I don't know what the argument is. They scream like, yeah, but you're implicating everyone. I'm like, no, because no one makes that standard for the British, right? If we talk about
the British, the Germans who prosecuted the Second World War and the First World War.
And I also kind of think that they do, or a lot of this dehumanization happens. It's just you're never allowed to do it in that direction. It's definitely happened to Palestine. But yeah, I'm interested in the Reginald D. Hunter thing at the moment, if you're following that. Not followed that? So he's the latest one who's on the chopping block to be cancelled. He made a joke at the Edinburgh Fringe where he compared Israel to an abusive husband, and the Jewish Chronicle have written an article about him, the Daily Mail have written an article about him. There are people that think that there were two Israeli plants in there, like he'd done that joke before, and then some people were sent in to be offended and stand up all shocked and stuff. But I just think it highlights something, because Julia Harley-Brewer, again, was on the radio saying, no, but he's adding to the problem. This is appalling, and I think she will fall back on going, no, anyone should be allowed to make the jokes that they want. Yeah, but there's still a massive media storm about it, when they wouldn't be in other cases. And when it comes to comedy, I feel like comedy is the canary in the coal mine. If people are getting shut down for telling jokes, then you know that we're in a very urgent situation. But I think in this situation, we've been in an urgent situation for a very long time, because you can just watch what happens if I say the Jews.
Can you speak into Christian Zionism?
Yeah, it's wretched, isn't it?
What's your take on that?
My take is that when I see Christian Zionists, there's a lot of people that believe that they're Christians who've been conned by the Schofield Bible, and I see it as so evil and so wretched that I struggle to view them as Christians in any way. Do you know what I mean? Because how could you not realise that something was wrong? It's such a bonkers idea that refutes itself.
But I think you did say it was a mind virus, which can work on all people of all faiths.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it actually is, a mind virus. I've got friends who are Christian Zionists, and it's just I can't talk to them.
Yeah, evangelicals.
Yeah,
and I guess that goes into them really young. And it is a mind virus because it's such an illogical belief, right? Let's just break down what Christian Zionism is. There was a man called Jesus Christ who was foretold in Jewish prophecies in the Old Testament, and then he lived and he fulfilled those prophecies and he died, and then the Jews had to make a decision. Do they believe he was their guy or was he not their guy? And that's the point at which it splits. Christian Zionism is the belief of the Christians over here that believe Jesus Christ is the Messiah, that they must be in uncritical reverence for these guys who rejected him. And they must never criticise this group over here. It is the most bonkers belief.
What do you believe?
Well, can I explain?
The other group has rejected
Yeah,
Jesus.
let him say.
I believe that Jesus Christ never told the world of a lie, and I believe that the Jews have rejected the Messiah. One of Jesus Christ's main messages
Can we go back?
I think Zionism is the behaviour of because
The Jews.
the Jews.
Millions of humans behaving differently to each other.
But currently 6 million of them are in Jesus' birthplace, killing their neighbours. What did Jesus say to do to your neighbour?
7.2 million. Get your numbers right, okay?
Okay.
And they're in their Jewish state.
Okay, but what did Jesus say to do to your neighbour?
But they're not.
No, answer my question.
Jesus.
I know they don't, but we're demonstrating my beliefs here. I'm walking you through.
So
them.
you think that people
You
just
have
get
to
shot?
no, you as I give you the questions, just answer them for me. What did Jesus say to do to your neighbour?
Lots of different things.
No, it was very clear. We all know this. No, love. Love
That's
thy
not
neighbour.
Jesus, that's in the Torah. That's in the Jewish Bible.
Okay.
You should love your neighbor as yourself. That was not Jesus who said that. That's plagiarized from Judaism. Has a lot of issues, but Islam and Christianity have plagiarized it like nobody's business.
Right.
Christianity.
So I asked a really simple question there. I don't really care whether Jesus plagiarized it off the Jews, even though he was one. Did he say to love thy neighbour?
I don't really care what Jesus said. Why is it
This is it.
important?
You don't care.
No.
But I
He's just
do.
a bloke.
No, but I do
Who
because
was-
I'm a
who was-
Christian.
who was-
And I believe
Hang on,
you've
let him answer.
rejected the moral law, and that's why people like you, the Jews, are
I'm
justified.
not the Jews.
No, but you are one of
I
them.
am one of them.
Yeah, you're one of them.
There are
You're one of the
millions of
Jews.
people
Yeah,
who are Jews who
listen to
disagree
me.
with me. I'm not
Stop being
offended.
offended. No, but let me speak.
Offended?
Are killing Palestinians in crazy numbers, their neighbours.
Excuse me.
It's
Excuse
fact.
me. Excuse me.
Fact.
Excuse me.
What are you
Let
going to
me
do?
ask-
You're
let
going
me
to
ask you a
deny the
question.
Holocaust
Let me
now.
ask you a question.
He's going to deny
I'm
the
not denying
Holocaust in
anything.
Palestine.
I've been here week after week in the aftermath of what happened last October.
And
many
everything since.
for that. And,
How
and
dare
I've
you.
been told, by the way, by many people in this space, right, talking about Holocaust denial, that what happened on that fateful day for Israelis, right, and for Jews around the world didn't happen. Lots of people have said that right here.
Will you concede that a lot of them were killed by the IDF?
I do not concede that.
Why not? Why don't
Because
Jews
it's a lie.
care about when the
Because
Israeli
it's
government
a big
kills their own
fat
people?
lie.
No, but it's not.
It
We've seen
is.
footage from that.
I'm not saying none of them were.
Why?
but
Why? See, this is why I say Zionism is a mind virus. Do you believe that a Jew can ever do something wrong? Can Jews do anything
Why are
wrong?
you standing in a box?
No,
asking
genuinely,
stupid
genuine
question.
question.
That's the
Can
most
you
stupid
condemn-
question anyone's ever asked me.
Can
I'm
you
50%
condemn
wrong.
the
I mean, ask a lot of
IDF?
questions. Of course they can.
Can you?
100% yes.
Brilliant,
Duh.
brilliant. So,
Ridiculous.
will you condemn the IDF for very recently nearly raping a Palestinian man to death?
Yes.
Good. So how do you
Duh.
feel? How do you feel about the
You think
protests who
they are
were
insane,
insisting?
those protesters.
Good.
They disgust me.
There we go.
Protesters are financed by Iran. They're Iranian terrorists.
We're actually getting some condemnation of Israel, which is great. We're getting this has never happened before.
Can I make
So we're
one
getting-
distinction, what I think will help this gentleman here? When we or Nick talks about the Jews, it does not include all Jews. This is very important.
Well, then don't
But-
say it.
Hang on, no, I'm not finished. Let me finish.
I don't have to be. You're putting the word all in there.
Let me finish
You're
the point.
injecting
The Jews, it doesn't include all Jews, but it exists as a group.
Political entity.
When we say as a
It's a
Christian the
it's a
Jews killed
political
Jesus
entity.
Christ, we do not mean every single Jew at the time. His mother did not cry, crucify him. When we talk about the Jews, it refers to the political entity that is conducting a genocide in Palestine
Let's talk
at the
about
moment.
genocide, shall
And
we?
there are plenty.
Let's talk about genocide.
Anyway, I wanted to make that
Let's
point.
discuss genocide. Okay, let me ask you the following question. Let me ask anybody here. Let me ask the following question. Let me ask you a question. Which of the following are justified as resistance? Of the following, I'm going to list them, and you can say yes or no to each of them, or all of them, or any none of them. Which of the following are?
Well, I mean, I think you're bypassing a more fundamental question.
Something. My question first is a Jew trying to impose his morality on me, a Christian, right now?
On anybody?
Are you about to?
No, I can't
What? Go for
anything
it.
on you.
Go for it.
Okay, look, let's answer this question. Everybody here can answer this question, right? Which of the following are considered to be legitimate, justified resistance? Resistance, self-defense, I'll call it resistance.
If you
Hang on.
He's going to say,
if you
Hang
dare
on,
say rape,
hang
I
on.
will
Kidnapping
ask you.
babies. Is that legitimate resistance?
Whatever.
Is it legitimate resistance? Yes, no. I've got another answer. Neither of them fine. Is it? Kidnapping babies. Is that legitimate resistance? Because you're wearing keffiyeh and you're wearing a Palestinian flag,
The point
which
is-
suggests that you think it is.
what
it
he's trying
is.
to do is excuse
Yeah,
the
exactly.
genocide.
He's trying to excuse
no,
the
trying to
genocide.
No, I'm not
You want it to be.
No, but you're going. Yeah, I don't have to
justify a
answer it.
genocide.
Okay,
No, I
I
don't.
pass.
You.
Well, that's convenient, isn't it? When you just told me, can an IDF soldier do something wrong and rape people in prison? And I said, that's disgusting.
No, you
I
did
can do that.
fair play,
But
you
when
did.
I asked you to condemn the kidnapping of a baby in the name of resistance, you either say it's okay
babies
or
have
you
been killed
refuse
by
to
Israel
answer the
now?
question. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
I know
about...
you're not.
We can
Because
talk
you're trying to
we-
trap
no,
me in a trap.
No, we can talk about the killing of babies by Israel. Absolutely, in a minute. But if you
But
like...
you must do it on my terms,
No.
and you must wait until I've interrupted you for
No.
5 minutes to get
No.
you, pin
Hang
you
on a
down
minute.
on this position,
Hang on a minute.
get you to condemn
Hang on a minute.
Hamas.
You're in Speaker's Corner, right?
Yes,
we all have
exactly.
a right to speak, whether we're standing on a box or not. You're wearing
That's
keffiyeh.
not how it works. You do not
Yes,
have
it
the
is.
unlimited right
Yes, I
to
do.
interrupt me and
Yes,
make
I
it
do.
all about
If you have-
you
You can't
narcissist.
just talk all the time.
Where are the rules?
You
No,
know,
brother.
there is
Yeah,
called
there's loads
basic
of room for
British
you down there
manners.
if you want to-
And my contention is that Zionists
Well,
have
you
no manners.
There
They
you go
wreck
with your stupid
because this doesn't
generalizations.
happen to the anti-feminists.
I don't care
This
whether
doesn't
it happens
happen
to
over there.
anti-feminists.
I know you don't care because you're offended by the keffiyeh.
am.
So you've
This is
decided
Yasser Arafat.
to derail
And
my
I think-
talk
and I
because
think
you're a
I care
rude
more about the
narcissist.
Palestinians than you do.
I don't think so.
Yes, I think
because
I
I've
do.
made about 10 documentaries about
Really?
them in
Well, how
10
has that
months.
worked out?
Well,
Look
quite
at them.
well. I managed to
Look
get
at the Palestinians with their rubble and their death. It's a disaster for the Palestinians.
You're right. It is.
Well, at least
War
I'm
is a
trying.
disaster, and the last 75 years are a disaster. And why
Because
are they
of
different?
Jews.
Because people like
Exclusively
you
because
can't
of
answer
Jews.
a simple question, which is it legitimate resistance to kidnap a 9-month-old baby? Yeah, and I'll use my fingers if I want. Yes, it is. Yeah?
Yes,
Yes, it
actually-
is. Okay, great.
Yeah,
You
actually,
know what? Guess
yeah,
what,
it is
sir?
under international law, I think.
You know what, Mr. Raptors? I'll tell you something, right?
Wait,
Okay?
you just made
You
your
tell the
point.
Palestinian
Mate,
people
you rude
depends
bastard.
on people
Go
like
away,
you.
you
Let me go.
narcissistic rude Jew.
Sorry?
Go away.
Stop labelling me.
But you are a narcissistic
I am
and rude
totally
Jew.
narcissistic.
Go away.
Oh, you standing here, yeah, telling the world
You're an
about you
incredibly
think is rubbish.
rude
That's
Jew.
not-
Can you leave me
not
alone?
narcissistic. I tell you, let's do a vote. I will honour this vote. I'm not Donald Trump. Okay, everybody.
He's the arbiter of
Wow,
who gets to
he-
speak.
he is-
He's the arbiter. Look at that.
To leave. Put your
Master
hand
of
up.
ceremonies.
Put your hand up. One,
Who wants him to
two.
leave? Who wants him to leave?
Even the Arabs want you to
No,
say.
but ultimately, what is the point?
Brother, you
What
over
the
the
one-
fence.
the people that want to watch Steve and this man, they basically just want to watch me get shouted at. And I don't think that's very beneficial
Oh,
for
so
it.
you
I
just
can
want to
speak
talk a
quietly if you want.
monologue
Well,
then?
you didn't let me get to my point about my faith, right?
You said
Which
you're a
is that,
Christian.
yeah, which means I believe that the Jews rejected
all
Jesus
Jews.
Christ. Well,
We made that
if you're a
Wait,
follower of
Jews.
Judaism, you have rejected
Exactly.
Jesus Christ.
That's
If
right.
you are a
What does that
secular
mean?
Jew, you
No,
have
I
rejected
explained.
Jesus Christ. If you're an atheist Jew, you have rejected Jesus Christ. So it actually works for all of them, right? So you blabbing going, not all Jews, yeah, actually all of
What
them.
about Jews for Jesus?
Well, then they would be Christians, and they wouldn't be covered under my theological conception of Jews, my worldview, not yours that you're trying to impose on me.
I'm not imposing anything on you.
You did try.
I'm not trying.
You did try. Now, my whole point was that the Jews were given a choice upon the crucifixion of Christ, which was, is he the Messiah or is he not the Messiah? Then the ones who went, he's not the Messiah, they got scattered. They've never had a nation until 1948
Can I bring
in
this?
Palestine. And now, the reason that my faith in Christ is really strong one of the biggest reasons is observing the behavior of Jews that we were warned about. Specifically, that commandment, love thy neighbor. And the way they have treated their neighbors. The way the Jews are treating their neighbors in Palestine is the most un-Christly thing that I can possibly conceive of.
Why do you think that is? Sir, what's your name?
Because they're not loving their neighbors, are they?
Why are they not loving their neighbors?
Because they're killing them en masse.
Why? No, I'm asking why they're killing them en masse.
Because the Israeli government made up a false flag.
I'm asking him. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm asking you a question.
The Israeli government needed an excuse to kill them all and steal the land, and so October 7th happened.
They need an excuse.
Absolutely. It's been an over land grab since day one, and it's ridiculous for you to deny it.
Really? Well, I can deny a really good deny if you like. Would you like that?
You can, but we find it rude, and we're brothers in this fight.
Form of resistance.
What
a lovely human being. I do not.
I'll be honest.
I do
neither
not.
of us look at all like we're all over the world to agree with. But it's only ever Zionists who are this rude, and I mean rude. I mean you have no manners, and I see it as a problem because we had race riots 2 weeks ago, and I'm coming down here to basically say, like, we need to have a conversation because things are happening and they're being done by Zionist actors. Like Tommy Robinson is a paid servant of Israel. Yes, he is.
Where do you get your
research?
guys? This guy's talking utter nonsense.
If I'm talking utter nonsense, then why have I got investors paying me to investigate the Jewish mafia?
You've lost the argument.
By Zionists.
You've lost the argument.
There is no. Yeah, right. Yeah, brilliant. Excuse me.
Let's give him a few names.
Douglas Murray's another one. Douglas Murray.
Tommy Murray.
Paid by Israel. And you have
Robinson.
evidence of the bank transfers or little bags of cash to you.
Exactly. This is unreasonable. Let me
No one supports Israel. They must be paid
Well,
by Israel.
actually, yes.
Really?
Well, am I being paid by Israel? But I support Israel. I'm a Zionist.
You are a Jewish man who has self-interest in that fight. Whereas Tommy Robinson and Douglas Murray have absolutely no incentive whatsoever to bend over backwards and justify everything that the Jews are doing.
They do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Let me speak. I'm on the plinth. You rude Jew. Stop being a rude Jew. Learn some manners. Convert. It is. It's too much. Right? Okay. Now, if I unfortunately can't prove that any of these men are being paid with a paper trail, stay silent. Let me speak. Try and not be rude. Speaker's corner. Wait your turn. However, I can watch their output and what they say and the stuff that they're justifying and say, hang on, incredibly critical of the British government, not a single scrap of criticism or condemnation for the government of Israel. If they are being paid, which I posit that they are guilty of treason, the crime of treason, right?
Treason?
Yes, treason. But because it's Jews, no one likes to think about it. Because it's Israel. To agitate, well, one example of treason is to agitate against your government whilst being paid to by another one. If someone was being paid, yes,
against the British government.
instead of just putting on a silly voice.
Are you getting this guy?
Yeah, exactly. Instead of putting on a silly voice, will you let me prove
And can
my
I
point?
mention some names?
Douglas
Tommy
Murray,
Robinson.
the Cenotaph protest last year. Douglas Murray claimed that the pro-Palestine march intended to destroy the Cenotaph and deface it. He said that they were going to march right by there, and he sent hundreds of Tommy Robinson fans to go to the Cenotaph to guard it. By tweeting direct demands saying...
tweets from Douglas Murray
Yes.
to right-wing fascist white supremacists.
Whatever word you want to use.
Okay, saying...
The Zionists are white supremacists,
the guy, to say... Okay, fine.
I know you don't... No, but, I mean... Douglas Murray...
Can I mention a couple of names for Tommy Robinson for the trail? He's made a very good documentary. Look up Ezra Levant. Does he sound like a Muslim? Ezra Levant.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah, he's a Jewish millionaire from Canada, and he pays Tommy Robinson, the Shulman Foundation, and so on. So he's a paid actor.
What's your proof? What's your evidence? Is it on the
you're a straw man
BBC? Is it in the Times? Like, what's your proof? Is it in
I
So if
attended...
people look up Nick Cotton now, very alternative, they won't see any videos of you from the past spouting out your anti-Muslim rhetoric.
I don't think you'll find any anti-Muslim
I think
rhetoric
you
online.
might.
You can't just come along to my talk and accuse me of being anti-Muslim with no evidence. You can't do it. Because do you think I'd be brave enough to be here talking to Muslims every 2 weeks cordially about Palestine if I hated them? Who are you? Who are you? I'm Nick Cotton. You know who I am. You seem to know my whole history.
guy was a former DJ in Cardiff or wherever.
Talk to me. Come and talk to me.
Guy was
Come
with
and
the far
talk to
right
me.
party,
Oh no, not the far right.
All I'm saying is,
Yeah,
look them up, look up Nick Bottom and
I
then-
made a documentary about how BA is a honeypot, you retard.
You're actually.
All right, what does far right mean? What does far right mean? It's a buzzword.
Well, I'm far right.
Exactly. So if you're far right, don't come along and call me far right.
People can see.
You've decided to come and interrupt my thing.
I didn't interrupt. I just said who you were. That was all.
But you did interrupt. Your ambition was to get
You
people
were
to stop
with
listening.
Patriotic Alternative, weren't you?
What do you mean with?
You were with Patrick, with Mark Collett and all
I
of them.
attended 2 conferences.
You were more than that.
I attended 2 conferences.
You were well engrossed with
No,
it.
he wanted me to be some
You
kind
were
of
well
deputy, but I was
engrossed
far
with
too
it.
busy doing my own thing. And then
You've
I fell
got
out
loads
with
of
the
videos on YouTube of you engrossed
I
with
don't have
it.
any
Like you
videos
can't
on YouTube because I
imagine.
keep find these videos and show them instead of just turning up at Speaker's
Well,
Corner
I'm
and
telling them where
making
to
stuff
find
up
them.
about me.
I'm telling them where to find them.
No, but you haven't. You've said that they exist, and now you're just going to walk
Well,
away.
I haven't got a video
having just
screen at the
smeared
moment
me
which I can
randomly.
show them.
Do I mean, come on, this is ridiculous, isn't it? It's
I'm not getting the phone out to go and find these bloody
It doesn't
videos.
really make any sense. Like, I will tell you, sir, my respect for Muslims
He was
has
out
gone
with the other
through the
hand.
roof in
You
the
don't
last
have your
year,
hands
since
on
the
them.
Gaza stuff.
They went round Britain.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing.
Released
They've
into
been
London.
faked. I
They
don't know
went
what
round
you
Brady
are.
Street all the way to
Wow.
where the Muslims are now, in Whitechapel.
So Steve,
And they were laughing
he's now
about,
warning
yeah, they were
Muslims
laughing. It was Ralph.
I'm sure he is Jewish.
It was Ralph.
All right, brother, you've had a seat.
Yeah, exactly. He's listening. He's basically this man is basically listening.
So look him up by all means and then listen. It's fine.
Are you saying it's just
It's fine. Get on with it.
Depends what our theology is.
Do you like the Hebrew Israelites?
what's the science?
Do you like the Hebrew Israelites?
Do you think an asteroid cares
the
about the
science?
science?
A Zionist is a Holocaust denier.
No, I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty nice.
You didn't expect that, did you?
are you
Oh,
talking?
no, so
Okay,
confusing.
ladies and gentlemen, there are lots of interesting things to do
It's
today.
simple. It's very
Listening to this
simple.
nutter talking rubbish
He's gonna
is
watch
probably a
Petra.
waste of your time.
It's a very simple argument, guys.
If you want to
No,
talk
no,
about
no,
Palestine,
no,
you
no,
can have a rational conversation
This
with
guy
me
is back.
over here.
I'm on the side of Palestine.
This
told that was
guy
bad 10
went
years
through the
ago.
streets of East
now it's suddenly
London.
trending
went
for
down
white
the
middle
streets
class
of
people
Why is Steve back?
Oh, Steve is back.
Oh, we've got look at this coalition of awful we've got now.
to see.
Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Steve on the
Why has
computer.
cultural appropriation suddenly not only become acceptable, it's become trendy amongst the white middle class left? Why is this?
Because to say hello, humans.
The cultural appropriation, which we were told is bad,
Because
has
of- yeah.
suddenly become acceptable.
Yes, because of the ongoing
He knows as well, he
Holocaust
knows.
in Gaza, which
Yeah,
I
I use
find
cultural
out
He knows
appropriation.
all
because of
of
the
it.
Holocaust in
Well, I
Gaza.
told you, he knows it's true as well.
How long's that Holocaust been going on for?
76 years?
What's that?
Yeah.
76 years of what?
It's just bizarre. I mean,
Do
we
you know
need to
the Dead
understand.
Sea is getting saltier and saltier?
I just want to understand why anyone
that. No,
would
this
have
will
this
never
compulsion to
I
bend
know.
over backwards for the Jews.
Because I went on
And-
holiday.
No,
I went to
including.
Turkey
Does he
for
realise
another
that
year.
Israel isn't all Jews? Does
I
he
went to
realise this?
I went to
Exactly. What does he
Vietnam
know
another
about? I
year.
don't care if
Don't know.
Israel keeps a couple of Arabs in there so that
What,
they can
2
play.
million Arabs.
Only a couple.
But it's their homeland. It's their country.
As it- Remember, we're here to prove that Zionists hate free speech, and we managed to get 3 of them just sort of ranting.
This guy's got
at
very
each
good
other.
morals.
Sort of, I think that's the best result we've had.
He can't kidnapping of a baby.
Yeah, this
No one else
guy.
is.
He thinks it's a good thing to kidnap babies. This is a raptor.
It's incredible.
Welcome to our new
Now
moral
it's-
planet.
It's great time.
Anyway,
If you don't want to understand that,
anyway, thanks,
if
Nick.
you're big enough
Turn
and
up.
brave enough, yeah, to argue.
I'm not a weirdo, mate. But anyone look at your videos can't hide it.
What do you think of hiding? I
Going
think
through the streets with James, was it Jamie? And there was with Ralph, wasn't it, through the East
Yeah,
End,
one
handing
time-
out leaflets against the Muslims,
No,
laughing at them and all that.
basically-
And now you're standing there like the halo over your head.
the halo over my head. One time, 4 years ago, a man called Ralph that used to come here invited me to the pub and
Who
live
actually
stream.
launched Patriotic Alternative here
What
at
does
Steve.
this mean? What does it? This is nonsense.